What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Leo sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of July 23rd and August 22nd, then you are a Leo sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing a reading I call Connecting to Spirit Guides. Every single human being, whether you realize it or not, has a group of spirit guides who exist in the higher realms, the higher ethereal, higher dimensional realms, and their job is to guide us and protect us and lead us along our journey here on life and make sure that we're getting the messages that we need to stay on the right track. And it's a lot of people aren't even aware of their guides, or they can't hear their messages, and that's sort of what this spread is going to help with. This spread is going to tell us what issues your guides are helping you with and what messages they have for you and how you can better connect with them. So we're going to be using the Tarot Mucha and the Crystal reading cards today to get to the bottom of this issue. I've already shuffled the Tarot Mucha, so it's just a matter of cutting the deck and dealing the cards out, so please give me a moment. And before we get into this reading, I just want to state that this is a general overall reading, and not everything is going to apply to everybody. But if you do want a specific reading where I tap into your energies, then head on over to my website, lightofriga.com, and you can peruse the different personal readings I have there, and one of them will help you to find healing or clarity in whatever you need. We can even do this reading if you want. This falls under the 3-card reading category, so I'd appreciate it if you go check that out, lightofriga.com. Alright, let's get into this. The first card we're going to look at is this one, and this card represents the issue that your guides are helping you with now for all my Leo friends. And we've got the 6 of Pentacles. Alright, so like I said, this is a general reading. So this card I feel like is going to apply in one of two ways, and you kind of have to figure out which way it applies to you. I think for a lot of you, your guides are trying to help you to be more generous with your time, with your resources, even with your emotions. Just be more generous to people, be more giving and not so self-centered or self-focused. And I think that's I don't want to say most of you, but a lot of you, maybe half of you, okay? But the other half, I feel like your guides are trying to get you to be more open to receiving and feel like you're worthy of receiving. And, you know, a lot of times when we feel like we're not worthy of receiving, we'll turn down free stuff, okay, for no reason. We say, oh, we're just trying to be polite, but that could be because we have a problem with receiving. And we have to remember that there should be an open cycle, an open channel of giving and receiving, so that energy is moving in that area. Okay, so I think that's the issue that a lot of you are facing, and maybe you don't even realize it, but that's what your guides want you to focus on, is being open to giving and receiving, and make sure you're doing both evenly. Right? You're not giving more than you receive, or you're not receiving more than you give. We want it to be an open and even flow of energy there, and that's what your guides are trying to help a lot of you with at this time. Alright, let's move on to this card, which represents the messages your guides want you to know now at this time, and we've got the 4 of Swords. They want you to think about how you give and receive, is the message I'm getting from this. I'm speaking from personal experience, but I think most of us are just unconscious, like totally unconscious of how much we're giving and how much we're receiving. We just go through life and, we give when we feel like it, we receive when it comes to us, but we're not really conscious of it. We don't think about it. We don't kind of meditate on it. And I think that's what your guides are trying to tell you at this time, Leo friends, is that it's time to really think about how much you give and how much you receive, and really try to figure out how balanced you are in that area. And that's going to take some meditation. It's going to take some honesty. And it's going to take meditation is going to help, because it's going to help you to see more clearly the ways that you give and the ways that you receive. And you have to remember that giving and receiving is not just about money. It's not just about gifts. It's, like I said, it's about time. It's about love. It's about attention. It's about energy. And in order to see all those things clearly, I do feel like you have to maybe go into a meditative state, and whatever that means for you, okay? I've said this in other videos, but meditation is not just sitting on a mountaintop in a lotus position. It's dancing or being creative or playing a sport, whatever takes your ego away. And I think that's what's important here, is removing the ego as much as possible so that you can see how much you truly give and how much you truly receive without the ego influencing things, because the ego is going to say, oh, you're such a great lady, you always give to people, when that might not necessarily be true, and that's something that your ego is just saying just so it feels good about itself. Okay, so it's going to take some objective what's the word I'm looking for, consideration. We'll go with that. Objective pontifications about how you give and how you receive. All right, let's move on to this card, which represents how to connect more deeply with your guides. And we've got the Queen of Swords. To me, the Queen of Swords is about communication. It's about loving communication. There's a lot. The court cards to me represent different types of communication, and the Queen to me represents a loving communication. And I think the way that you can more deeply connect with your guides is if you communicate with them, if you speak to them. And again, for me personally, I find it's best through meditation, but it's also through dreams. It's also through prayer. However you want to communicate with your guides, do more of it. And I feel like that's going to deepen your connection. I know it seems so simple. You want to hear your guides, talk to them. But it's for some people not that simple. And I can only speak from experience, but I find the best way is through meditation. I like to use a variety of crystals to help me do that, and we'll get into that in a second. But I think the best way for you to communicate more, or at least to connect more deeply with your guides, is to open a line of communication. Do it from a heart-based perspective, and say, guides, I know you're out there. I want to hear your messages. And if you set that intention that you want to communicate with them, then that will happen. And it'll come in a way you're probably not expecting, and you might miss the signs, but eventually I think if you really pay attention, you will see that your guides are communicating with you, and it's going to be different for every person. To me, it's through tarot cards sometimes. Other times it's through dreams. Other times it's through meditations where I directly channel them. Or I wouldn't say channel them, but directly converse with guides. So they're there. They want to help, but you have to take that conscious effort to say, yes, I want to talk to them, and I don't have any predisposed idea of how it should happen. Just be open to the idea of how it's going to happen however it wants to happen. Make sense? Okay, let's move on to the crystal reading cards. We're going to ask it, what healing or crystal energy Leo sun signs should focus on at this time? What crystal or healing energy should Leo sun signs focus on at this time? Kunzite! I love kunzite. Let me get my kunzite real quick. There it is, kunzite. This is not the best light, but this is extremely purple. Not the best light. I don't know if this is going to help or hinder. It hinders. Anyway, kunzite and self-love. And this is a crystal of exactly that. It's a crystal of self-love. It's a crystal of love for others. And, we talked about giving and receiving. And I think this is a crystal that will help you to do that. You need self-love in order to receive. Like I said, if you don't feel worthy, you're going to have a hard time receiving. And you're not going to attract situations in your life where you have the opportunity to receive because you have blockages. And kunzite can help open that up. It can help open up that self-love to the point where you're ready to give. If you have love for yourself, then your cup is overflowing and you have to give that love to other people. Right? And the same thing, if your cup is overflowing, you realize how worthy you are and you're able to receive. So kunzite is going to help open those channels, and it's going to open those channels through self-love and through just really appreciating you for who you are, and for just opening that heart chakra and realizing how valuable you are to this planet and to this universe. And once you realize that, then you can start to... Is that focus? Why won't it focus? Focus on the kunzite, man. All right, kunzite. It's super purple. It just doesn't come through in this light. I'm sorry. But anyway, kunzite's a beautiful crystal. It's a little bit expensive, but if you can get a small... This is a large piece. You don't need a piece that big. You can get a smaller piece and just meditate with it, and your guides will help to open up your heart center and realize that you're worthy of giving and receiving in equal amounts, and it's going to be beautiful. Okay? So that is the reading, Leo friends. I hope you got something out of that. Remember, this is a general overall reading. Not everything is going to apply to everybody in a specific way, so take what works for you. But if you want a more specific reading where I tap into your energies, like I said, head on over to lightofriga.com. We can do a bunch of different readings, including this one. This is a 3-card reading, and we can do it for as little as $10. We can get more specific with how your guides are trying to contact you, or we can do anything else. There's a bunch of different readings there, so check that out at lightofriga.com. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, and let me know that you did. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to talk about this reading, put it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you really enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the videos I release. There's a lot, and we're approaching 1,000 subscribers, so I'm planning to do some sort of giveaway for that. So stay tuned if you want to be a part of the giveaway. All right, Leo friends, it's about self-love, it's about giving and receiving, and it's about making a conscious effort to communicate with your guides, and you will hear them. So I wish you love and light on your journey. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.